I don't even know if we can do the serious, and I don't care. And then we go to the next one. Leeway. All right, so now we go Leeway. Rinse and repeat. And we'll get our 160 Prima Gems. No effort required. Yeah, so this is an event. So to explain, Toki, what the deal is this is an event where they're trying to get people who don't play the TCG to play the TCG. They're desperate for some reason to get people to play the TCG. And I really loved the TCG when it came out. And then they changed all the cards that I liked. And then I'm like, okay, I'll give them another shot. And I learned the new cards and I despised new strategies and I made new guide videos for YouTube based on the new cards. And guess what they did? They changed the good cards again. And they have subsequently changed the good cards every patch for like 5 patches straight, where they take a card that people are really like and people like play a lot, that have fun with, and they break the card because they don't want you to have fun. They want to have a balance. Oh, it's very bad. They keep changing it. They literally choose the best cards that people are more likely to play, and they intentionally make them weaker. And they do it again, and then they do it again, and then they do. Oh my God. It's just like I've got 143 videos on this silly TCG on my YouTube channel, and I've stopped caring completely. All right, we're playing Jingshu. Great. Okay, yeah. Rules. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Ah, darn it. Gotta do it again. What just happened? Ugh. Character was just like sitting there. Yeah. And so, yeah, again, I'm not gonna lie. TCGs are hard, very hard to play. Yeah, they keep change. Yeah, you change stuff, and yeah. So I don't care anymore. I literally don't care. This is my best way to, but they give me rewards if I lose, so it's fine. And they're like, here, we'll even choose the decks for you so that like you don't have to think too hard about the cards you put in them, and it'll be really, and we'll give you really good cards. Yeah. Yeah, that will ruin another patch. So don't invest any energy in actually learning how these cards work, because like they're going to change them in the next patch anyway. So like, who cares? Yeah. So this patch, for instance, the Jingshu character, it wasn't Jingshu they did. They changed, literally they changed like they changed like 3 or 4 cards, and they changed the good ones. They changed the good cards. That's what they do. They just change the good cards. They don't change every card. They just choose the cards that are the most played, and they break those cards and they make them not work the way that people play them. Because I think what they want is that their goal is an impossible goal. They want balance. But you can't have balance. Like, you have to have meta. The only way to do a card game, in my opinion, having played a lot of card games, is you can't have balance. You can only have meta. And so in this game, they had everything going for them, because you don't have to do anything but play to get cards. You don't have to buy them. The cards aren't in the gacha. They're not locked behind like a paywall or anything. You just play. And so hypothetically, everyone has every card. The only thing that really is really gated on time is like special card backs and stuff that make your cards like move around and stuff. That's it. That's the only thing that's really gated on time, and it's a certain number of like coins for a shop that you can spend. But they don't need it. It doesn't affect the play at all. So even then, like, I could sit down and, I mean, I'd have to like play the game to earn the new character cards. But I could play the card game. I could get the newest characters cards with easy battles at the lowest difficulty, and like, there's nothing stopping me from getting them, other than the fact that I don't want to invest any effort into learning how they work because I know that if they're good, MiHoYo will change them in the next patch and make them not fun anymore, so that you'll have to play a character that isn't good because they'll change. Sometimes they buff characters too. Like sometimes they'll make a character stronger because they're like, hey, nobody plays, this character. So we'll make their energy cost lower, or we'll increase how much damage they do, or whatever. Yeah, there's a problem with game companies in that trust is crucial. Like, you need to trust that the game is fair. You need to trust that the game is consistent. We don't get the free Omni dice on this one. That's interesting. So this one they didn't give us all the Omni dice because it's because it's serious, probably. That's why. I don't know why. But doesn't matter because the same strategy works. I remember when I was a kid, I had a friend of mine had a Apple Macintosh, and he bought the Macintosh Monopoly game. And the computer cheated. Like it just cheated. It could do things that you're not allowed to do by the book in Monopoly. Now, granted, Monopoly is not the most amazing game in the world, right? It's just Monopoly, right? No, this was my story. And so, yeah, we had this my friend had this Macintosh, and it had the Monopoly game, and we would try to play it because we were kids and we wanted to play computer games. It was fun, and it was like a official Parker Brothers licensed game. But it cheated. It broke the rules, and we'd see it do things that were against the rule in the rules of Monopoly. And so we just never played it anymore. And I've never bought a Parker Brothers game for computer since. Now that was, in the 80s, right? So early 90s or late 80s, right? So I'm sure that Parker Brothers is not even the same people who made their game don't work there anymore. And if they make computer games, I don't know if they do. They probably do. They probably don't cheat, but because they broke trust when I was 9, I'll never play a Parker Brothers video game. That's just they'll probably their idea of hard AI is the game cheats. So I'm not interested. Genshin Impact doesn't cheat. It definitely it's unfair what they did by changing the cards. And so that's why I picked it up the next patch, even though they took some of my favorite cards and they changed how they worked. I gave them a chance because I'm like, well, maybe that was just growing pains. It wasn't growing pains. It was they broke trust because they aren't trustworthy when it comes to TCG games, because they don't understand. They clearly don't understand how players feel. If they did, they wouldn't do this stuff. Because I'm not the only person in the world who's complaining about them changing cards. So that guy has a revive skill. That's interesting. That'd be really annoying to play against. Okay. Good to know. But yeah, so that's my take on the situation with Genshin and PCG. I mean, I still enjoy this game, don't get me wrong, but I, like so many people who play this game, it's almost at a breaking point of our frustration with it. And I know lots of people that are beyond their breaking point with it, that just don't like the game anymore. And it's a sad thing when a company... Yeah, I know. And it's unfortunate, because this is a game with a tremendous amount of promise and a tremendous amount of potential. And MiHoYo just keeps breaking trust. They're not breaking trust in the Parker Brothers way. They haven't like broken. They said Serval has accepted your challenge, and I'm like, Serval's gonna? No, it's Cole. It's not Serval. It would have been cool if it's Serval. It's like, and your opponent is Serval from Honkai Star Rail. You're playing her guitar. That'd be freaking awesome. That would have been a good cameo. Look at this. Look at this autistic coding. This is beautiful. Look at Cole's autistic coding. Love it. I love Cole so much. The characters in Genshin Impact, with some exceptions, are very few exceptions. Just great, wonderful, love them. They're super fun to pretend to spend time with, you know. And the story is still very good. I still enjoy the story of Genshin Impact. I enjoyed the Yoimiya quest. I enjoyed every single ending of Kave's hangout. They were all enjoyable. I didn't feel like I was wasting my time at all. But that said, the game keeps breaking trust. And that's gonna drive people away. And there's no two ways about it. They're just gonna drive people away. And it's already driving people away. Like two prominent YouTubers last week said they're not gonna be doing content for Genshin anymore. And one of them said they're just not gonna play anymore because they don't find it fun. And you know, granted, I think that particular content creator didn't find it fun when they were playing. I don't think that 1010 has ever found this game actually fun. I was watching a video where he was doing a blog, like, why did you start making content for Genshin Impact? And his answer was literally, I liked the character Child, and everybody was memeing that Child wasn't good. And so I started doing videos to prove that it was a powerful character. That's it. He liked Child. Who doesn't like Child? Child's amazing. Like but still, that's at least why he said on his video why he chose to be a YouTuber or a streamer or whatever. But it wasn't because he fell in love with the game. He just liked Child, and he thought it was dumb that nobody thought Child was good when he thought Child was good. And he still does, like, he did like months and months and months, years, literally years of 36 starring the Abyss. But that's not enough to sustain a game. Like, that's not fun. And I am enjoying this game for other reasons. I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the characterization. I'm enjoying the exploration, which there was absolutely none of in this patch. Like, no exploration at all, which is the way it was when it launched. But like, they've got like literally millions of dollars in budget. They could have spent some of that development time releasing a new area, like an underground area, or just release Fontaine early, or, you know, like just an island archipelago that's not in any nation, that's just got some puzzles and treasure chests that I can find, or whatever. Like, there's no excuse. In the 1.0s and 1.x's, there were several patches with no new content, and it was okay. Like, I could tolerate it, because I'm like, well, they're still spinning up. They're still counting their money from the literal billions of dollars they were making when they launched. And I was willing to persevere through those times, because I know as a software developer, you can't turn on a dime. You can't like immediately start churning out software just because you have money. Software engineers, we don't churn money into software. We turn caffeine and sugar into software.
Mountain Dew and Doritos, like,
yes. But unfortunately, it takes time for the Mountain Dew and Doritos to enter our system so that we can convert those two things into code. Like, it's not an instantaneous process. This is something that I struggle with every day, and every job I've ever had is like, no, I can't you can't throw money and people at software and expect it to just magically appear. You have to like let it cook a little bit. But at this point of the game, there's no excuse. They've had almost 3 years of momentum, continuous stream of money, continuous stream of hiring, and yeah. So thank you for joining me on my not quite angry video game rant, as my kid says, but very angry video game nerd adjacent rant about Genshin Impact. I didn't drop any F-bombs. I didn't put the white shirt on. But that happened. So for the Hoyo staff that are watching this to verify for the streaming program that I actually did stream your game. I streamed your game. Story actually is getting better and better in this game. I would be very sad if their terrible marketing and their predatory like FOMO stuff ends up killing interest in the game to the point they don't make it.